Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the morning talk show where we discuss all things Magic the Gathering, spoilers, deck techs, the new sets, new ideas, and we also do Q&A. So if you've got questions, you better believe that both myself and the community has got the answers. And we also do deck list review. So if you've got a 75 that you're looking for some feedback on, trying to fix the mana base, the win condition, and help your bad matchups, you better believe you are in the right place. So brew up that cup of coffee and let's start brewing up the magic. Welcome to Coffee and MTG for January 13th, 2021. Patiently waiting for your daily dose of coffee and MTG. Oh yeah, well let's get it. You know, just like you need coffee and MTG, you also need your coffee. I mean, yeah, I can't start my day without the coffee. There are two things you can't start your day without: coffee and MTG. Good morning, Frederick. Good morning, D Canadian Bacon. Good morning, Steven. Good morning, James. Good morning, Maelstrom Legends. I'm not so patient. Give me the fish. Well, yeah, we got fishes here. I got my, you can see the I Love Kitties shirt. I got an I Love Kitties shirt. I don't bring it out very often. Today's a good day for the I Love Kitties shirt. Cats also like fish. Is there a fish picture on here? This cat eats like donuts and pizza and cookies. Like this cat doesn't show like fish or, I mean, I don't think these are things traditionally cats eat. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. Charles, good morning. Good morning, Armis. I don't drink coffee. No, never felt the need for it. I feel the need for coffee. Even if I sleep, I had a great sleep last night. Even if I do, I still need my coffee. It's basically a drug at this point. If you don't have your coffee, something's off. Something's off on my brain, and it's a free way. It's basically like free cheating in tournaments. Caffeine like improves your performance by like 5%. Just make sure it doesn't screw you over for like a multi-day event. That's all. Strong uncommon spoiled today. Oh, right. Oh, you have a nice bottle of vitamin water, but does it have real vitamins? You know, these vitamin water things, like the actual brand vitamin water, it's just sugar water, as far as I can tell. There's like no vitamins in it at all. Is there a new uncommon? What's it called? What uncommon are we talking about here? So I see... was this... This was an interesting one that was spoiled the other day. Here, Weathered Runestone. It's like... It's a slightly better Grafdigger's Cage. So it's 2 generic mana. Non-land permanent cards in graveyards and libraries can't enter the battlefield. And players can't cast spells from graveyards or libraries. So someone might ask, well, what's the difference between this and Grafdigger's Cage? You can't Whir of Invention into if this thing is in play, you can't Whir of Invention and Ensnaring Bridge in play, or the Thopter Foundry combo, or the Thopter Sword thing. The Sword of the Meek can't come back from the graveyard to the battlefield because what's it called? Grafdigger's Cage. It's very specifically hating on creatures. Creature cards in graveyards and libraries can't enter the battlefield, and players can't cast spells from graveyards or libraries. So this could potentially be a bonus in the right metagame. I don't think it's strictly better than Grafdigger's Cage. 1 mana means a lot, especially if you're up against Dredge. I wish it said players can't cast spells from exile either. That would have been better too, because there's a lot of nonsense that cheats. It's like, okay, search your library for a card, exile it, then cast it for free. And we have a lot of cards these days now, like Light Up the Stage. You know, this thing gets exiled, the cards get exiled. No, you don't get to cast anything from exile. So it is better than Grafdigger's Cage, but it costs 2 mana. So anyway, potential toolbox card, and also doesn't trip up on Chalice on 1 if that matters. So I think this is a very interesting card. Got to keep an eye on that for when it might become well positioned in Modern. Definitely has its advantages, though. Definitely has its advantages. Yeah, Weathered Runes. Oh, this was it? Weathered Runestone? I predicted it perfectly. Good morning, Carlos. Ugly Hood Rat. Aaron. Good morning, Dan W. How are we on this brisky Wednesday morning? We're doing great. Good morning, Chris. Bobby asked, what do you think is better position in Modern? Mono Red Prowess or Dredge? I'd say they're both similar. You know what? I mean, I guess I could tip the hat in the scale of Dredge a little bit, only because the Ad Nauseum players are coming out, and apparently, according to M. Hayashi, he can't beat that matchup. He just can't beat it. I guess just one or two Angel's Graces and a Phyrexian on life, and just can't race the Ad Nauseum matchup. So maybe we can give an edge to Dredge, but only if you're proficient with Dredge. I don't think you can just pick up this deck and then all of a sudden you're killing everybody with it. It is very clear that Sodak is getting the full value out of the Dredge deck. So you have to be, I think you still have to be pretty proficient with the deck to get the full value in this metagame. Because a lot of other people are trying and they're not getting there. Alexander, good morning from Poland. Good morning. Good morning, fish folks. Good morning, Daryl. Good morning, Jack Torborg. No Super Friend shenanigans and no enchantment decks. So that's another thing. Like, you can't tutor in, like, planeswalkers. Like, random stuff can't enter the battlefield anymore. So, yeah, Weathered Runestone is going to be an upgrade. Upgrade to the usual. Good morning, Albert. Good morning, Mikey J. How cold is it in Winnipeg? It's very warm. We've had a very, very warm winter. Let me go check quickly. Today, it's only -8. With the wind, it feels like -11 degrees Celsius. And for some people out there, they'll be like, wow, that is cold. And I'm like, no, that's warm. It can go to -40. It goes to -40 every year. So anyway, this is pretty warm winter so far we're having. Good evening, Hoax. A lot of people just think you just show up immediately. I think I missed your take on Raven form. What do you think? I don't even remember. Raven form was it that bird that bounces itself when it deals damage? Hold on, maybe. Oh, this was the no. I know what you're talking about now. It's this card. Exile target artifact or creature. Its controller creates a 1/1 blue bird creature token with flying. But you can foretell it. I like this card. I don't know if I love this card, but I like this card. I think exiling things is very good. And like first off, I think I like this against cards like Dryad of the Elysian Grove, which I need to exile. I don't want that effect on the battlefield. I wish that this is what I like. I want Wizards to start moving into the direction of giving blue exile, but replace it with a creature. And I think this is pretty strong because it turns the creature into a 1/1. Is the 3 mana going to be a liability? Have to wait and see. We're going to have to wait and see. It is true that it will not be very good against prowess creatures, but I mean, like, I could see a world where I play this card. By the way, there was this counter spell. Where's that counter spell for 2 mana? So it's like a 3 mana, but with foretell. Oh yeah, saw it coming. So I shrugged it off as being complete garbage, but then I started thinking of a scenario where maybe it's good. And I'll tell you where. So I built a mono blue control deck once with Karn the Great Creator and Jace the Mind Sculptor and counter spells. And here's the problem with Karn the Great Creator. You play your Ensnaring Bridge, and then you start drawing counter spells, and then you lose. But what if you could get rid of the counter spell out of your hand and do it in a way that you want counter spells to protect your bridge, but you also want to empty your hand? Saw it coming actually could be part of such a maybe Karn the Great Creator mono blue control deck. I don't know. Just letting you know, there might be some niche scenario where someone does want to. They don't want the counter spell in their hand, so this is a counter spell that can sit in exile. Just it has more playability than I originally thought it did, but it's like niche playability. Like it needs the right deck for it. So as people start swarming in, welcome to Coffee and MTG. Thank you very much for spending your morning with me. And if you want your questions answered, don't forget you can go 3 question marks before the question, 3 question marks after the question. Helps me find your question among all the sea of comments. Because I'm getting comments coming from me from 2 YouTube channels and a Facebook page. Good morning, Jarl. Do you think Force of Despair has any place in today's metagame? You know, Force of Despair. I don't even know what that is. bet it has some. I bet there's some spot for Force of Despair. If it's not your turn, you may exile a black card from your hand rather than pay this spell's mana cost. Destroy all creatures that enter the battlefield this turn. I don't know if it's this metagame though. I mean, maybe. I don't play any decks where I need to like kill all the creatures that just enter the battlefield this turn. It's a playable card, but it's hard. It's hard to use, you know? It's very hard to use. Because you need to use it immediately. It's like the worst top deck of all time. You still have to 2-for-1 yourself if you want to get that extra benefit. But you can play this at instant speed, which is pretty cool. I just don't know what deck wants it. And against what deck. It's a powerful effect, though. Morning, Jose. Good morning, Niels Nielsen. It sucks. It says non-land because that would have been perfect for Titan. Yes, actually. Oh, that is a really good point. You know what? I had the same thoughts. We're talking about the... where is this artifact? Weathered Runestone. If only it also mentioned lands, that would be perfect. It should just say that we should have some hate card that just says stuff cannot enter the battlefield. Oh, you know why they probably didn't do that? Oh, it should say non-basic lands can't enter the battlefield from their library. So, like, if you have fetch lands, you are forced to find basics. Because I'm assuming they wanted people to still be able to use their fetch lands. Again, Wizards of the Coast and their fetish with the fetch lands. Fetch lands are going to be with us forever because that is going to be the moneymaker of Wizards of the Coast. They're banking on fetch land, squeezing everything they can out of the fetch lands for 50 years to go. Come. But anyway. No snow hate. Not that I know yet. What is the status of Pioneer format? Really enjoyed it, but the lockdown kind of took the hype away. I know, and I think that's the problem. So, Pioneer's going to start... Pioneer still has its niche audience. There's still people playing Pioneer, but it's not as popular as the other formats. But it's stable, all right? So, like, it's around. It didn't die. So you just we definitely have to wait for a moment where, you know, the pandemic ends, everyone can come out, and, like, everyone who bought Pioneer cards can start playing the format again. I think that was the thing that sucked it up. Like, everyone bought Pioneer cards. Everyone's so excited. And then 2 big catastrophes happened. COVID happened, and then, and also there was 3 combo decks that they neglected to ban. Chess question: is Rook OP? I mean, it's better than... I wouldn't say it's OP. It's a good card. Let's say it's a good piece. It's a bit clunky, but it is good. It is a good clunky card. But it's not as... I mean, in my opinion, the most OP card is... Or, sorry, OP piece is the Queen. Queen can move all over the place. A blue common that can exile a god or an indestructible. Bullcrap. There we go. Exactly. That's what I like about that Raven form. Good morning, Peyton. Good morning, Sean. Or sure, it's Shane. Can I foretell anytime I cast an instant during my turn? I don't... Oh, yeah. So it says it on your turn, so you can do it at your end step. Let's go find a foretell card. Very specifically says you can foretell anytime during your turn. Which is funny. Go to my end step? Okay. Foretell. I need one foretell card. Where is a foretell card? Okay, I found one. Crush the Weak. Surprised it took so long to find a card, or make a card that was called Crush the Weak. Foretell for a red. During your turn, you may pay 2 and exile this card from your hand face down. Cast it on a later turn for its foretell cost. So there you go. Anytime during your turn. You could do it at the damage step. You could do it on your upkeep. You could do it at the draw step. Draw step, foretell. We're going to pay the foretell cost here. So anyway, yes, you can do it at the end of your turn. Saw it coming. Karn the Great Creator, Thieving, Skydiver, Liquid Metal Coating, and Bridge. That's right. Just wanted to say to someone, you didn't see it. You didn't saw it coming? That would be funny. Did you see this coming? When we counterspell something. Good morning, Branson. Good morning, Lance. Do you think a case can be made for reality shift over Dismember in mono blue decks? You really have to exile, like the exiling the creature thing must be really important. The problem with the reality shift is it's still card disadvantage. Well, I'll tell you this much, like maybe in the right deck this is okay. Merfolk it wasn't, because you give your opponent a 2/2 creature that's manifested. So first off, the 2/2 creature is as big as the Merfolk, sometimes bigger, and it could upgrade itself into a much bigger creature. So you take it; it's a huge risk. But reality shift is a potential card. Maybe I should have play tested with this card more. Maybe I'm wrong. But like, if I reality shift, say, a prowess creature, that could still be pretty nasty. I don't know, maybe I haven't play tested reality shift enough. I just know that in general, you don't want to be giving your opponent stuff when you're investing mana to deal with a particular permanent, because even the 2/2 grizzly bear it can be a pain in the ass to deal with, if you know what I mean. Why do you think Rise of the Dread Marn is bad even in mono black aggro? I don't know about mono black aggro. So black into generic, create X 2/2 black zombie berserker creature tokens, where X is the number of non-token creatures that died this turn, and you can foretell it for a 1. So maybe you could, if you could force the, first off, I don't like cards that are like situational. So when you need to be proactive and nothing's died, this card sucks. Now, maybe in the right deck that sacrifices a lot of creatures for no mana, and you're sacrificing, and then you can play Rise of the Dreadmaw. I could see that. That's possible. That's a possibility. So it might be playable, but I don't think this is a slam dunk include in like any creature-based deck that's black, that has access to black. That's all. This is like I look at this as like a commander card. As someone wiped the board with some card, and then look, Rise of the Dreadmarn, I get a bunch of creature tokens equal to everything that you destroyed on my side. Ha ha ha. Like these sort of effects don't really see play very much. Like there's a lot of cards like Rise to the Ranks. See, like here's another thing about this card. You are playing a card preparing for a bad scenario. And like I just don't think it's flexible or good enough if that scenario doesn't happen. That's all. I like cards that are good if a bad scenario happens, but are also good if the bad scenario never comes to be. Situation like, I don't know, like a generic counterspells can be in that manner. You know, a generic counterspell can counter a sweeper like Wrath of God or Damnation, but it also can just be useful at countering your opponent's threats, like their planeswalkers. You can also use it to protect your creatures. You can counter a cryptic command, if you know what I mean. Like, so anyway, I just don't like these sort of cards where, oh, your board got wiped, here's just a way of getting all the stuff back. It's not flexible. I'm not a fan of those cards. And they don't see play. Like, they don't see competitive play as a result of that. Do you think elves will get a better dork than Llanowar or Mystic in Heldheim? Very unlikely. I don't think they would outclass Llanowar Elf. I mean, unless it was like Deathrite Shaman, but not OP. You know what I mean? What do we think about Dual Strike? So whenever you cast your next instant or sorcery spell with converted mana cost 4 or less this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new copies for the copy. This card has been around for forever and not seen any play. Reserve list, though. Copy target instant or sorcery spell, except that the copy is red. You may choose new targets for the copy. So anyway, I don't think it's I don't think this one's playable. Dual Strike. Hold on. Did they just print a reserve list card? Whenever you cast your next instant or sorcery spell, convert a mana cost 4 or less. Aha. Aha. I see what you did there, Wizards of the Coast. Reserve list card. Not reserve list card, but probably superior on many metrics. You can't copy your Time Walk, people. It's not as good as Fork. Get out of here. Is Fork sorcery? No, it's instant. Interesting. Look at Wizards of the Coast flirting with that reserve list. That reserve list, right? Just at some point, they're just going to print like just strictly better cards than the reserve list cards and be like, well, if you want something that's sort of similar, you just get the reserve list one. Are these snow duels going to have an impact in the Eternal formats? I think you can see a copy or two. I'm not sure, but I think we can see a copy or two in any deck that's trying to make the snow mechanic work in Modern. I don't know about Legacy, though. I think that's a bit too clunky. But, I mean, we see the Triomes in Modern, right? So if we can see the Triomes, we could see, like... We can see the... I'm pretty sure that we can see snow duels. Like, you only need to put, like, 1 or 2 in your deck, just so that you make sure that you have a snow duel on turn 1, and then you can play snow lands for the other turns. Let's see, did I miss any questions? Tons. Is Pawn's position bad right now? I keep losing my tournaments online. Might switch to Red Prison. I don't know if it's badly positioned. I don't know if it's well positioned. I could definitely recommend Red Prison, though. Red Prison is also not, like, has no presence, but I don't know if anyone's tried. I think it's got all the tools to beat, like, mostly everything. You might only struggle against the Uro. You might only struggle against the Uro decks unless you can get a Blood Moon out really quickly. But outside of that, I think Red Prison looks really good right now. Is the new Foretell version of Entreat the Angels an upgrade over the past iterations? I don't think so, because you still have to... Control decks do not want to spend their mana. I don't think control decks are going to like the Foretell cards for the most part, because you don't want to upfront spend mana on your turn. Control decks leverage a position of strength because they're playing on your turn. And if you play something, then they counter it, and then they get to untap their mana and make better decisions. Control decks put themselves at a huge disadvantage when they start tapping out on their turn. That's why they're very careful of when they play like Planeswalkers or something. The only reason that they'll sometimes play a Planeswalker on their turn is now you've got to deal with it, and you're likely to tap yourself out to do that as well. And hopefully they've got the position under control anyway. Do you think that Force Negation is still a main board card for or less Fish Boys right now? I'm seeing people feel the need to present an aggressive start game 1 and go Force Negation game 2. I still think actually it's still worth it, especially since we've got Ad Nauseum making a big return. So between Ad Nauseum and Uro decks, because it's convenient to have Force Negation against them as well, because you want to tap out against Uro decks ideally and put a really fast clock on them so the life gain from Uro doesn't matter. And there comes a point where they'll like have to play a Planeswalker or something, you just counter and you just win. So I still think it's still pretty good. And it gets better if there's more combo decks in the metagame, at which Ad Nauseum is on the rise. Wizards of the Coast, are you on the reserve list? Fetch lands, no. Wizards of the Coast, get your ass in here, reprint machine. Oh, yes. So they print forks, but no fetch lands. Mono Red Prison Peeps are hyped about going Is It with Avalanche Collar. I'm waiting on this card. Is this a new card? Has to be a new card. How do I like the new Grafdigger's Cage? We just talked about it, but like I like it. I like it a lot. I do like it a lot. Oh. Can't find it on Scryfall. So is it on is it like one of the new cards here? What is it? What is this Avalanche Collar? I'm assuming this is a red or blue. I'm guessing this is a blue card. Where's red? Avalanche, Giant Squash. Collar still doesn't work through bridge. Control decks. I'm trying to find it. I don't see it. I don't. Oh, maybe it's. Is it completely new? Which one of these is Avalanche Caller? This is an Avalanche Caller? No, this is a Wanderer. Fuck. This is very difficult to navigate. Third card? Avalanche Caller. Blue and one generic. Snow creature, human, wizard. This looks good for a wizard deck. Pay 2. Target snow land you control becomes a 4/4 elemental creature with haste and hexproof until end of turn. It's still a land. Is this really exciting? I don't think this is very exciting. Spending 2 mana every turn to turn your lands into creatures. Well, it has hexproof, so I mean, it has that. It's okay. It's okay. I guess in a blue-red prison deck, maybe this will work. They're going to want to tap out and like empty their hand and, you know, start. But you can't attack through the bridge, right? I guess you don't have bridge out every single time, right? Well, whatever. I'm on the fence if this card is good or not. 2 mana every turn to attack is a lot for like a blue-reddish deck. You know what I mean? It's not so big, not a big deal for a green deck, but this isn't green. Interesting card, though. Very interesting card. Aggressively costed. Maybe this is better in a wizard deck. Can wizards use this? Target snowland you control becomes a 4/4 elemental creature with haste and hexproof until end of turn. It is still a land. Imagine having Vial up, and you vial this in, and you turn your you make a 4/4 elemental creature, and it's hexproof. Well, whatever. So, I will say this. Some deck is going to use this. Some deck. I don't know what deck. Some deck is going to use this. This has a lot of potential. Fetch lands are wizards. Charlie says fetch lands are wizards. Get out of jail free cards. They'll only print them as a last resort to boost revenue. Or when community revolts. Well, they have to make the decision like 2 years in advance. So I think it's just safe for wizards to always print them once every second year. Or like once every year. Like 1 year you get the ally fetch lands, another year you get the enemy fetch lands. Albert says, saw your 5-0 list. Congrats. How was Threads of Disloyalty? It was good, actually. It was good. I don't know if it's great, but it was good. I appreciated it. It helped me in. It definitely helped me in some games. I stole a Birds of Paradise from a Stoneblade deck. They had less mana. I had more mana. It was great. I think the big thing about Foretell is that it dodges Thoughtseize. I mean, it dodges late game Thoughtseize, but it's not going to dodge turn 1 Thoughtseize. Avalanche Caller on a humans deck? Oh yeah, it's a human as well. Probably it's not that good because they don't at least the humans decks of right now, they're 5 color and you don't have enough snowlands because you have to target a snowland you control. You only get the benefit from this. You target snowland you control becomes a 4/4 elemental, and 5 color humans has like 1 to 2 snowlands in their entire deck. So actually I don't think it'll be playable. Wow, Into the North really jumped up. Interesting. So what this card is spiking? Isn't it like a common? Search your library for a snowland card, put it into the play tap, then shuffle your library. Someone should have speculated on that a long time ago. Hi, Nikachu. Thoughts on Jorn, God of Winter? I think the card is good. I probably can see modern play. I mean, is it better than Wilderness Reclamation? Anyway, it has 2 sides anyway. So I think this card could see modern play. It's a 3 mana 3/3. It's a god. Not indestructible. Thank God. Thank God for that. It attacks, untap each snow permanent you control. So it can untap creatures in addition to lands. Nice picture. These things are cute. What are these, ferrets? What is this mystical creature here? I can't tell. Not a fox. I don't know what that is in the background there. And then of course it has upside. You've got this side. So if you're Sultai, you may play target snow permanent card from your graveyard this turn. If you do, it enters the battlefield tapped. I mean, that's pretty OP. Late game. So you've got an early game, a reasonable early game card. Very reasonable. I mean, imagine they make a snow mana dork. I don't know if they'll go down that route, but let's say they make a snow 1 mana dork that even adds, I don't know, a generic mana or just snow mana, and you can ramp into this, and then every single time you attack, you can untap your mana dork. I mean, that'd be a lot of mana. I'm just speculating here. At the very least, you can just have a bunch of snow permanents in play. I guess the hard thing is, what does the mana base look like? Because you need to have, it just has to, it'd be difficult to have 3 colors all snow. But then that's where the snow duels come in. You can fetch for them. Boreal Druid? Yeah, I guess so. Is Boreal Druid a snow permanent? Boom! Already exists. Turn 2. Jorn. Anyway, I think the card is good. I think the card is good. Is it going to find the right home? Is it going to find the right shell? We're going to have to wait and see, but I think this is a very strong card. Because it's got that sort of feast and famine ability already attached where it gets to untap their stuff. That's very strong. That's very strong. You basically get 2 turns. So you get this thing out, and then you play creatures, you attack, you get another turn. Even if it fucking died in combat, who cares, you know? We talked about it. You'll have to check the replay, Pan Fernandez. We talked about it. I think it's an interesting card. I will just say overall, I like it because it prevents Sword of the Meek and also anyone tutoring War of Inventioning Ensnaring Bridge onto the battlefield. But situationally, it's only better than Grafdigger's Cage in Modern. Do you think Emery or Mox Amber will be banned at some point? I don't see Emery banned ever, but I do see Mox Amber banned. I can see Mox Amber banned. If someone from the future came back to ask and to tell me that Mox Amber was going to get banned somewhere in the future, I'd be like, yeah, of course. It's 0 mana. Well, like, what do you expect? This card is just waiting to get broken. That's all it is. It's just waiting to get broken. Emery is not the problem. The problem are the 0 mana cards. Mox Amber, Mishra's Bauble. These cards do a lot for no mana, in my opinion. No mana. This one was grossly underestimated. Who knows how long this card was playable and people slept on it in Modern. Like, it took a long time for people to realize... Like, it's a Modern staple now, though. Tons of decks play it for multiple different reasons. But this card saw no play before Death Shadow finally made the best use out of it and turned it into, like, a tier 1 staple. And now Misha's just baubles with us. Oh my god, it's $2 now? Believe it or not, this card used to be $80. This card used to be $80. Let's take a history on the prices. Let's look up OG Misha's Bauble. It's not what I was looking for. Yeah, here's the OG one. Okay. Look at that. Look at that crash. Oh, it must have been $80 Canadian. 50. It was as high as $50 at one time in American, and it just collapsed after the first reprint. This is what happens when you reprint these niche, super old uncommon cards. It was $80 Canadian for an uncommon. Was just what? What? People needed this card badly. Hold on, why did it go down a little bit here? Oh, this must have been the first... Was this the first reprint? Oh, no, okay, hold on. I think this is when it got hyped a little bit earlier. There was some decks trying to use Mishra's Bauble, and then this is where this is then when Death Shadow got the Death Shadow deck happened. Look at that. I was there. I was there, people. This was GP Vancouver. Got my ass kicked in the finals of a GP by Death Shadow, and then they reprinted it, and then a little bit of a comeback here. That's about it. But anyway, I would definitely expect Mox Amber to be banned before they ban Emery. What's your favorite Jose asks, what's your favorite Heldheim card so far, and what would you like to see come out of this expansion? I would like to see, yeah, sure, I would like, well, I mean, I won't speculate on what I would like to see, because, I mean, I've made mention a million times what cards I want. But I will say, I want to see a Snow Hate card. That's what I definitely want to see. I want a Snow Hate card that is impactful enough to see play in Modern to deter me from playing Snow-Covered Basics. That's what I want to see from this set. The most interesting card, I think, from this set so far? I don't know. I don't have a strong opinion about anything yet. I'll probably make a video about what I think are the top, like, 5 most interesting cards for, like, Modern. I like the birds. I'll tell you this much. I like that birds are, like, a theme in this set. I'd make Bird Tribal if I could. Vega the Watcher. Look, 3 mana flying whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, draw a card. That's cool. It's looking into your fucking soul as well. So I like the picture too. Can't really speak on what my favorite card is though yet. Gotta wait. So I should buy Mox Amber now? Just make sure the person you talk to in the future tells you exactly what date it's going to get banned. So you can drop that hot potato. Mox Amber is technically mana since it requires you to have a legendary creature too. Sort of. I mean, it's still mana ramp. You know you can cast Emery with a land and a Lotus Petal? Yes, of course. Oh, and can you? Actually? Okay, I get it. Okay, so you declare... Okay, you play your land, you play the Lotus Petal. Emery costs 2 mana. You declare that you're casting Emery, and then you sacrifice the Lotus Petal to pay for the cost. Nice. Because that's how the order of casting a spell actually works. A lot of people think intuitively that it's you pay the mana first, then you cast the spell. It actually doesn't work like that. You actually declare the spell or ability that you're going to play first, then you pay the mana, and then after that it goes on the stack. In that order. And that creates for some like really weird interactions, like the Emery Lotus Petal thing. Have you seen the new Landfall Zoo deck? Is it better than Revolt Zoo? Well, it's definitely better than Revolt Zoo because Revolt Zoo is dead. I saw it. I played against it. We'll just have to wait and see if it can hold up to the test of time. Because it's, you know, the removal is so harsh these days. It's so ridiculously harsh. I'm growing less and less confident that they're going to print a good enough Snow Hate card to deter people from playing Snow Basics competitively. I don't know. It's totally up in the air if whether this happens or not. Gonna make a video about the recent 5-0 fish lists? No, not necessarily. I don't really usually make any videos on fish lists. Maybe I could consider it for the MTG streams thing, but not on my main channel. Because if they push the hate enough, the whole theme of Snow is just bad in Standard. Like Snow Boil means nobody's going to play Snow, right? No, not necessarily. Like, do people not play with islands because Boil exists in the format? Do people suddenly don't play with islands because Choke exists? So, I mean, they still play those cards. They definitely play the cards. I hope it's something like destroy all Snow permanents. That would be good. Including your fucking creatures and lands. Get them all. Can you tell me the same person in the future to check up for me is when Uro gets banned? I would assume that they would have thought it was old news by the time that they came back. Oh, Uro is still legal? Oh, okay. Don't worry, you don't have to wait very long. Would a 3-mana destroy all Snow permanents be enough hate? Yes. I think that'd be pretty aggressive too. I think 4 mana would be fine. Would be a little bit more fair. 3 mana, just wipe your board. That feels pretty early. Is Ad Nauseum good in Modern right now? Yeah, it's very good right now in Modern because it eats up on the prowess decks, and it's just a good, reliable combo deck right now. It's a really good pick if you want to play combo. It's probably the combo deck to play, if anything. Check the 7-mana Giant Wizard ETB. New. When Cyclone Summoner enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, return all permanents except Giants, Wizards, and lands to their owner's hand. But it's 7 mana. It's 7 mana. I'm not getting this thing in play. What's the merfolk that reduces the cost of my wizards? Someone help me. There's like there's a merfolk that can reduce the cost of my wizards by like 1. Maybe we can like speed this thing out. You're welcome, Jose. Do you think that strong cards benefiting you for playing non-snow cards would help for Modern? But that's like a weird design. Do you think strong cards benefiting you for playing like what does the card say? If you don't control a snow permanent, you get this benefit. Like, that's really bizarre. It's just a really bizarre design. I think it's better that the cards are designed in a way that says if your opponent controls a snow permanent, you get a benefit from it. Like, because what you're suggesting is that perpetually from here on out, we now design cards if it's like saying if you're playing a deck, if you don't have a creature in play without first strike, then you get this benefit or something like that. It's just a really weird, it's just a weird design that Wizards would never do. It's just a really bizarre design, that's all. I mean, like, the answer is yes, but it's just really bizarrely designed. What if the name of the snow hate will just be one word, like melt? That, you know, that's not past Wizards. Wizards will definitely do something like that. How many decks would have to play the snow hate to develop the so-called herd immunity from snow basics? It just takes one. It would just take one deck, honestly. It just takes one deck that they have it. Like, for example, I can tell you from Merfolk, the fact that people played Choke was enough for me to play Wandering Hub and other non-basics. Enough non-basics that I don't get beat by Choke. Or I play enough islands so I don't get beaten by Blood Moon. So all it takes is just one deck that has enough presence in the metagame. And I would be off snow basics in a heartbeat. Because it's not... The advantage is so minuscule, but I think that it's clearly an advantage. So yeah, I have to take it. But if I am once every 20 games going to run into a deck that is going to be playing snow hate cards, then so be it. Or even 1 out of 25 times, it'll be worth it to play non-snow basics. Is Tron bad against Ad Nauseum? I don't know. I'm gonna guess yes, but I don't know. I can see a world where you get turn 3 Karn and you start exiling their lands. But if they've got a bunch of Lotus Blooms on suspend, maybe it won't matter. But I don't know. Because they can still attack the mana of the Ad Nauseum player, but Ad Nauseum can also play Penthead Prism, so I just don't know how the match plays out. I'm going to guess Ad Nauseum is advantage, though. What's the best way to get into Magic the Gathering online? Probably, like, this wasn't... You can either buy a budget deck, try to get a deck for under $100, or you can join a rental subscription service. I mean, you just get into Magic the Gathering online. If someone can lend you... By the way, you can also borrow... Actually, here's a hidden thing that people don't know that much about. Let's go to Mana Traders. You do need to unlock trading, but you can start your adventure off with a free plan. You can join Mana Traders with their free plan. You can rent 7 ticks worth of cards and just build a super hyper budget deck, and then see if Magic the Gathering Online is right for you. Because honestly, it's not for everyone. I don't know who else is out there who's tried Magic the Gathering online. They're like, well, fuck it, this is awful. But you know, it's for me, and it's for a lot of other people. But like, it's a good way of testing the waters. You spend $10 to unlock trading, get the free plan on Mana Traders. You get 7 ticks worth of cards, build some super budget deck, and then see if you want to go further. Then you can either buy into a deck or just rent decks through Mana Traders. Oh yeah, Stony Brook Banneret. That's right. The Banneret. Do you think Dranath Magistrate will see a price increase? Very unlikely. This is too new. Your opponents can't cast spells from anywhere other than their hands. I doubt it. Too new. It's not like an old card or anything. It's, you know, you see, like, it's not, I don't even think it's the biggest hoser. Your opponent can't cast spells from anywhere other than their hands. I don't think that also restricts enough people. The foretell mechanic, yeah, like the foretell mechanic won't be competitive. That's the thing. I don't think it's going to be as competitive as it looks. Have you seen the new land, Faithless Haven? Playable in control or something? Very unlikely. I mean, maybe, okay, maybe in a like mono red or mono blue control deck, maybe this is possible. But that's about it. Very expensive to activate. 4/3 creature is still pretty good, but very expensive to activate. Not every deck can play this, but it would have to be. It'd have to. I guess it could be like a 2-color control deck too. Nikachu, what is your favorite forest you're gonna play when Snow Hate gets printed on Simic? I don't know. I guess the unstable one. Although I'm not in love with it. What's your opinion on X-Mage? It's great for free. But the problem is if you... so, I mean, it's a great way to play Magic online and test decks, infinite decks, for free. But the problem is your competition sucks. Like, your competition is not serious. Because they are also, like, switching up their decks constantly for free. So no one's, like, deeply experienced. And, like, the level of competition is just really poor in comparison to Magic the Gathering Online. So if you're actually trying to play test for a serious tournament, you might not be getting the right play testing. But it's a free way of testing decks. It's not a bad way of goldfishing. It's a free way of testing to see if your deck functions. Is what I want to say. Snow Hate here, Snow Hate there, Storm Hate everywhere. Oh, not Snow Hate, Storm Hate. It's funny how Dranath Magistrate was meant to hate on companions, but it doesn't even do. Yeah, it doesn't even do that. It does a pretty crappy job. All right. Everyone knows what time it is. You know what time it is, everyone? It's time for Decklist Review. We're going to review your 75. If you want to submit your deck, I've got a link to my Discord in the description. Go to my Discord, then go to the channel. Go to the channel, Decklist Review, and then enter the command, ! Deck Review. Give a space. Don't press enter yet. Give the URL, then press enter. And you'll be eligible to be chosen at random for Decklist Review. Remember, you're chosen at random. It's not. You're not. It says you're getting put in a queue, but that's all BS. It's a lie. The bot is a lie. And as we wait for people to submit their deck list, we are going to thank our sponsors, starting with themanabase.com, the content site to help you on Commander, Modern, Standard, and more. The Manabase is your home base for everything Magic the Gathering, and the Manabase is sponsored by FusionGamingOnline.com, my favorite local game store. The deal of the week this week, you can save up to 25% off old board games. Oh, yeah. So you always want to show up to Fusion Gaming Online every week to see what the new deal is. There's a new deal every single week. And remember, Fusion Gaming Online is a Canadian site and Canadian prices. They should put a Canadian flag somewhere here. It helps solve the confusion. FusionGamingOnline.com. And we're also going to thank our sponsors, Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online. You can test your new decks or even try out Magic the Gathering Online for the first time with Mana Traders. And you can support the channel by using my Mana Traders link in the description below. Or you can save yourself 15% off your first 3 months by using my coupon code Nikachu. Return to Innistrad werewolves or vampires? Huh? If you want me to choose one, I guess vampires. Vampire Tribal is very close. I mean, maybe it's already there. I just didn't develop it enough. Are you going to use new snow basic art? No, I don't like any of the new snow basics. I like the full art cards for the most part now. I'm a full art person, people. I'm a full art. Use the full art. If you're not using the full art, you're not using the full potential of your deck. Boop. Okay, people. It's time. Tarmogoyf! The Tarmogoyf. Congratulations, you're the next contestant on Decklist review. Make the best of it. Tarmogoyf. Amulet Titan by Tarmogoyf. We've got a Boreal Grazer. Azusa, Lost But Seeking. Am I too close? Azusa, 4 Dryad, 4 Primeval Titan, 3 Karn the Great Creator. Why 3? Why not 4? Whatever, 3 is good. 4 Summoner's Pack, 3 Ancient Stirring. I guess Ancient Stirring to find the Karn. 3 Explorer, 4 Amulet. Bajuka Bog, 2 Breeding Pool, Castle Garen Brig, 2 Cavernous Souls, Crumbling Vestige, 2 Field of the Dead, 2 Forest. Okay, how many? 1 Valakut the Molten Pinnacle. Windswept Heath, Wooden Foothills, 2 Engineered Explosives. Is there a question you're asking about here? 1 Uro. Interesting. I don't know how necessary that is, but whatever. It's not bad. 2 Baloth, Wormcoil Engine, Kozilek, the Butcher of Truth. Oh, you're trying to beat the mill decks. You want to beat the mill decks. You want those mill decks to mill you out, huh? I have nothing to say about this deck. Nothing. I mean, it looks... You submitted a stock amulet list. Is there some spice in here that I don't know about? I don't spot it. Oh, we have a prediction of Dead of Winter jump up in price. That's possible. Can anyone see something unique about this deck? It looks very, very stock. Maybe the side... I never paid attention to the sideboards. Why explore over Growth Spiral? Because blue mana is not necessarily easy to get in this deck. You don't always have blue mana. You always have green mana, though. This deck has a lot of green mana, but not a lot of blue. See, this is green. This is green. Here's some blue. Here's more green. There's a little bit more green than blue. There is blue, but I mean, it's not reliable. Like you get, okay, so here's all the green. So like this is blue, but there's no, okay, so here's green. I guess this can make one of anything. Here's green, here's green, here's green. Here's blue and green. Here's more green. Here's some strictly blue. And these can find blue and green. There's like a lot more green than there is blue though. That's all. Ship it! Send it off to your next tournament. Good luck with it, Tarmogoyf. I have nothing to comment. And it's good. It's good. It's a good deck. It's strong. Karn the Great Creator. Who would have thought Karn the Great Creator is a good deck? Maybe I should really, you know, it was a meme before, but I should really experiment with Karn the Great Creator and Merfolk. And you know what? I could play with Thieving Skydiver as well. We could main deck Karn the Great Creator, Thieving Skydiver, the what's it called? Liquid Metal Coating, and we're good to go. Anyway, good luck with the deck, Tarmogoyf. It's still a good choice, even right now. Mr. Lens, congratulations. You are the next contestant on Decklist Review. Abzan Midreg. We all know what he's talking about, though. Oh, this is... When I saw Abzan Midrange, I'm like, we're going to see Tarmogoyfs in this thing. Okay, we have Stitcher Supplier, Urgon, God of Death. So this is, you're trying to utilize the new cards. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile 2 cards from your library. If you can't, sacrifice Urgon and draw a card. Restoration Angel. Is this to like blink this at your upkeep? Oh, no, I guess it's just for Siege Rhino. Shriekmaw, First Sphere, Gargantua. ETB, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. I don't know about this card. It's very expensive. Okay, what do you have to discard cards? I guess Raven's Crime, Cling to Dusk, Dark Blast, Inquisition of Kozilek, Raven's Crime, Abrupt Decay, Grizzly Salvage. Okay, you got that. What else does this do? Enters the battlefield, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Okay. 3 mana, 5/4 creature that can't get hit by Fatal Push. I can get behind this. This card looks underrated. The only problem is, you know, you need to get it into the graveyard somehow. Yes, I would main the liquid metal coating. I'm excited for this card. This is very interesting. Because it actually dodges most of the removal, and even if your opponent Path to Exiles it, you drew a card anyway. I think this is better than other cards in this deck. So you probably need if you want cards like this, you need maybe more of an engine here, like Stitcher's Supplier. I would like to go up on Stitcher's Supplier and up on this card. Cling to Dusk, Dark Blast. I think Dark Blast is a bit too weak. Like, you can have this in the sideboard. But, like, for the most part, the format has adjusted to 1 toughness creatures. Unless there's something better. Unless there's something... This is for something that I don't know. Raven's Crime, Grizzly Salvage, Life from the Loam. Yeah, I can get behind that. Lingering Souls, Creeping Chill, Unburial Rites. Unburial Rites? Why? You don't really have a good payoff here. I would rather the Unburial Rites was just like more Restoration Angels or Stitcher Suppliers or something. I don't think you have a good payoff in this deck. I mean, I guess you can... And you want to unearth this, don't you? I don't know. I don't know about Unburial Rites. I know you're trying to go for a graveyard. I like Life from the Loam. I like Grizzly Salvage. I don't know about Unburial Rites. And is there a way we can benefit from the lands that we bring back from the graveyard? Okay, we got Blast Zone. That's a good one. Pajuka Bog, Dakmor Salvage, Dark Boar Pathway, Field of Ruin, Forest, Godless Shrine. We have the Triome, so we can at least draw some cards almost infinitely. Shambling Vent. Maybe we want some more Shambling Vents. Sun Petal Grove. Can you play this card? Oh, yeah, I guess so. Or maybe not. Like, do you have enough forests? Dark Boar Path. Like, I don't know if you actually have enough forests and plains in this deck to... you actually don't. You have to take this card out. Yeah, let's flip you. You're so big. Throne of Death. At the beginning of your upkeep, mill a card. Exile a creature card from your graveyard, draw a card. No, this is... I mean, this is fine if you want to play this side, but I think having a 3-mana 6/6 creature is the real soul of playing this card. Okay, you can't play with Sun Petal Grove or Woodland Cemetery in this deck because you just don't have enough swamps or forests to facilitate it. You're so low on these. It's just they're just gonna come into play tapped. You might as well have Triomes, to be honest. But I don't mind having this little bit of a toolboxy sort of mana base that you can, you know, get some value off of with Life from the Loam. So I tell you what you should do. Dump the Unburial Rites and then fill up the rest of this deck. I actually think Lingering Souls is very weak right now in Modern. 3 mana to put 2 creatures on the battlefield is pretty shitty. Maybe want to replace this. Because I don't even know what the payoff here is for white. You're so heavy in Golgari. This is a heavy, heavy Golgari deck. You could have a very light splash here for Restoration. I guess you could have a light splash for Restoration Angel and Siege Rhino. But I don't even see a lot of value out of Restoration Angel. I guess you can blink this and draw a card. And blinking Siege Rhino is great, but there's nothing else to blink with this thing. Stitcher Supplier, maybe? Sort of a crappy blink target. I guess you could blink the Shriekmaw. Maybe you should have more Shriekmaw. So I think I'm not a fan of, like, and Lingering Souls and Unburial Rites in the same deck. I don't like it. How about we take these out? We add another Life from the Loam. We definitely add another Grizzly Salvage. We could even put more actual removal spells, like 2 Abrupt Decay or 2 Assassin's Trophy or something. Well, Siege Rhino is okay. It's just it's hard for people to play this card. Like, no one wants to be an Abzan these days. I think if you played Siege Rhino in today's metagame, it's not that bad. And combined with Creeping Chill, that sounds pretty good, actually. Can't blink Unearth. Return this creature card from the graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. Oh, well then this sucks. I thought this was permanent. We have to unearth this thing and then blink it before it dies. Oh, this card sucks now. You know, I didn't read, reading the card does what the, teaches you what the card does. Okay, so all of a sudden this first Sphere Gargantua is like not very interesting. It's actually really poor. But that's where... Well, whatever. I'll leave it in the deck for now. You get a 5/4 creature that has haste. Not too bad. What about Path? Here's the deal. Like, I don't know if we should be heavy in white, because this deck is barely white, and Path to Exile is sort of a card you want to have. Well, maybe we don't need it early. Yeah, we could have Paths. We could have a few Paths in here. Maybe instead of... I don't know what. If we take out the Unburial Rites... Now Unburial Rites on the Gargantua looks better. I'll admit that. Because I really want to put this thing on the battlefield and keep it. Okay, if we keep Unburial Rites, we gotta dump something. Okay, we definitely dumping Lingering Souls. I do want to dump the Dark Blast. Maybe more Cling to Dust is also good right now. This is very strong. I don't actually think Bloodghast works in this deck very well. And Bloodghast needs a very unique deck. Well, it's not exactly... It's like pseudo... It's very mid-range, actually. It's very, very mid-range. We're a very, very mid-range deck. And then another thing is, like, is this the best payoff we have with Unburial Rites? Like, there's got to be better cards than this. Like, I like the look of this card, but now the more I look at it, like, if we're playing Unburial Rites for this, we might as well play Unburial Rites for, like, a much better creature. Even this is not too bad. This is a pretty strong card. Okay, let's round it out. Okay, okay, I'm not certain about taking out Unburial Rites anymore. Even though I prefer that you do. Let's definitely take out Lingering Souls. So that's 3 cards. We can go up on a Life from the Loam and a Grizzly Salvage. And let's go up on another Inquisition of Kozilek. Take out Dark Blast, add another Cling to Dust. Because I think this card is very well positioned right now in Modern. Very, very well positioned. You might want your Abrupt Decay to be an Assassin's Trophy. I don't know what you need exactly Abrupt Decay for, but Assassin's Trophy is just more flexible. I guess keep the creatures the same. You have so few creatures from Unburial Rites, which really sucks. Screw it. Get rid of the Unburial Rites and just add in more Shriekmaws, more Restoration Angels. Maybe some more Stitcher Suppliers. What do you have on turn 1? You actually have a lot of things to do on turn 1. You actually might, because you're putting your opponent's cards in the graveyard as well with like Raven's Crime, you might want Cling to Dust to make sure you like exile the Uro or something. Anyway, I hope, what do we have in the sideboard? Another Field of Ruin, Cling to Dusk, Veil of Summer, Abrupt Decay, Collective Brutality, Plague Engineer, Sanctity, Leyline of Void. For the most part, this is a good sideboard. I hope some of that feedback was useful. Keep an eye on how effective Unburial Rites is in this deck, because it doesn't look like an Unburial Rites deck. And make sure that first Sphere Gargantua is what you want as an Unburial Rites target. An Ulamog would be good with Unburial, but it's got to be one of those Ulamogs that doesn't shuffle when it goes to the graveyard, right? Let's do another one. Ferretti, congratulations, you're next contestant on Decklist review. We're having a Cascade into Tybalt deck. What about Scavenging Ooze? It's a little bit off from the theme of returning stuff from the graveyard. I mean, I guess you can eat stuff as well. All right, Valky, God of Lies, Bonecrusher Giant, Seasoned Pyromancer, Simian Spirit Guide, Bloodbraid Elf. Bloodbraid Elf and Simian Spirit Guide in the same deck? I mean, I guess it's better than hitting nothing, but still. Bloodbraid Elf, Demonic Dread. So you can like cascade Bloodbraid Elf into this. Dismember, Kolaghan's Command, Maelstrom Pulse, Rift Bolt, Violent Outburst. Interesting. So what are our 1-drops? Our 1-drops are Dismember. Our 1-drops are Rift Bolt. That's it? Okay, the first thing that comes to mind is we gotta like go all in on Rift Bolt, and we need to go all in on Dismember. Because you have nothing to do on the first turn of the game. In fact, you don't have almost anything to do. Well, you have some stuff to do on the second turn of the game. You have Valky, and you can play the Stomp off of Bonecrusher Giant. I guess Simian Spirit Guide might round it out. Okay. So Bloodbraid Elf. Is Bloodbraid Elf necessary? Well, I guess it's free anyway. Because it's probably not going to hit Valky. But the Violent Outburst will. What's the other one? Demonic Dread? Oh yeah, we have both of them here. So it's like Living End, except not trying to set anything up. So you can go turn 2 Valky. Let's flip this. It's so big. No, you're not big enough. Okay, let's just look at your loyalty. You can exile target artifact or enchantment. It starts at 5 loyalty. Exile the top card of each player's library. Exile all cards from all libraries, and also and you get 3 mana when you exile all cards from all graveyards. As Tybalt enters the battlefield, you get an emblem with you may play cards exiled with Tybalt, Cosmic Imposter, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast those spells. Well, I'll say this much. This list looks really clean. This actually looks really clean. At first, I thought you don't have enough things to do at 1 mana. Maybe you do. I mean, some percentage of the time, you're going to have Simian Spirit Guide ramping into something. And especially if you can cascade into Valky. If Valky is as good as we think it is, this is going to be OP. Because you get onto the battlefield and start like murdering their creatures, or you like run away with the game. And I guess you can have this available by turn 2 on the play. That seems pretty strong. But it will really suck. Well, we'll see how this plays out, because the flip side, and I'm not talking about flipping the card, you could -3 it, and then your opponent next turn goes like Swift Spear, Lava Dart, kill it, and then you spent like a lot of cards getting this Valky in play, and then it did, or this Tybalt in play, and just didn't end up doing anything. Where am I? Oh, yeah. But I think the list is cool. I think this list is cool, and I actually think it's, for the most part, it's pretty clean. Maelstrom Pulse, Kolaghan's Command, Rift Bolt. I don't know how important it's going to be to have early game interaction. If it is, it's just easy to replace these cards with like more Rift Bolts and Dismembers if it really has to come down to that. Mana base is good. And sideboard is good. Choke, Fulminator Mage, Kolaghan's Command, Necromentia, Leyline of the Void, and Ricochet Trap. Cool list. Cool list. We won't know how good it is, though, until it gets printed. Till we see the cards. We see Valky, God of Lies in paper. This is definitely going to be one of the ideas that people are going to be employing in the new metagame. Why Rift Bolt over Lightning Bolt? So that you don't cascade into the Lightning Bolt, because Rift Bolt is technically a 3-mana card. See, Violent Outburst is going to cascade into a spell that costs less than Violent Outburst, but it can't cascade into Rift Bolt. Really good question. You can end up being in a lot of trouble if you play Lightning. You're like, okay, time to get that Valky in play. Oh, I find a Lightning Bolt. Oops. Oops. Same thing with Cabal Therapy. You can't play 1-mana spells. That's why this deck doesn't have any 1-mana spells. That's the whole point of cascading Demonic Dread and Violent Outburst into exactly Valky, God of Lies. Basically, these are all copies of Valky, God of Lies. Well, more importantly, copies of the Tibalt. No, like you'd have to get lucky to cascade into with Bloodbraid Elf. I'm not even sure if Bloodbraid Elf is even necessary in this deck. But, you know, Bloodbraid Elf into Stomp is still pretty good. Oh, I guess you could. No. You know what? It is good. You can Bloodbraid Elf into a Demonic Dread, and then this one will definitely find it. So actually, this is great. This is awesome. Why not then? Definitely not a one of. Because if it dies, then you can't cascade into another. You could go down one, though. Like in Living End, they only play... In Living End, they only play 3. But again, you could play this on turn 2. So it's not that bad. You could play this on turn 2, and then cascade into the Planeswalker on turn 3. How does Valky work? Okay, so for anyone who doesn't understand how this deck is working, the idea is we're going to use Demonic Dread, just cascade, and it says whenever you play the spell, remove cards from the top of your library from the game until you remove a non-land card that costs less. You may play it without paying its mana cost, but the remove cards on the bottom in a random order. So it eventually runs into Valky, God of Lies, which costs 2 mana. But from that point, you have the option to either play either side of the card. That's as the rules. That's how the rules work right now, which is stupid. You shouldn't be allowed to do that. So anyway, we've got 7 mana. So you can play a 7-mana Tibalt, Cosmic Imposter. Legendary Planeswalker, Tibalt. As early as turn 2. That's the idea. Does As Foretold work like Cascade? No. It does not. Did you know with Tibalt's Trickery is actually busted with Cascade? Is it? You can't target yourself. You can only target your opponent. Tibalt's Trickery is only oh no, you can target yourself, right? I'm thinking of the other one. Hold on, how does this work? Okay, so you counter target spell, it can be yours. Choose 1, 2, or 3 at random. Its controller mills that many cards until they exile a non-land card with a different name than that spell. They may cast that card without paying its mana cost. So let's say you find a Cascade spell. Then from that Cascade spell, like what are you running into? Like Tibalt's Trickery again? Yeah, I was thinking of the white removal spell, the Gambit. Exactly, so you don't cascade into it. Shardless Agent isn't modern legal. It's only legacy legal. Good morning, Ricardo. I don't understand what makes... you know, Tybalt's Trickery and Cascade spells busted, though. I don't really understand. I don't get it. Morning 27 Noetic. Well, anyway, that's going to be it for Coffee and MTG for today. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining me, making me part of your daily routine. And if I didn't get to your comments, if I did not get to your deck list, don't worry. We do this Monday to Friday, 9 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time to around like 10, sometimes 10:30ish a.m. Central Standard Time. And we'll be back. We'll be back for more previews, more questions, more spoilers. So thank you very much for showing up, everyone. I really enjoyed it. I hope all of you enjoyed it. We all learned a little something about Magic today. And as usual, keep brewing up that coffee. We'll keep brewing up the Magic. See you next time.